Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to, I think, episode 41, right? Or 41, yes. Today is going to be slightly different format, but it's going to be fun, filled, and informative. So I have a couple of questions for you. Have you ever wanted to create another revenue stream in your business, but you kind of let the tech pieces overwhelm you? Like, yeah, I want to do that, but, I know that I got to do this, that, or the other thing, and I'm not sure I can do it. Or maybe you see a need that you know you can fill in your community or even a prospective community, but you're like, yeah, I don't know if I know I have the knowledge. I know I can do it. I know I can share all of my expertise, but I don't know if I have the time or the energy to build a course. And maybe I don't even know how to do that yet. Um, if that's you, let me know if you feel like, I'd really like to have another revenue stream because I'm all about multiple revenue streams. And as you guys are coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are in the world? I am still in Virginia, hanging out with my dad. My dad's almost 96 years old. It is so hard to believe. And he is in the need of a little bit of assistance lately. So we are hanging out. Um, awesome. Hey, Michael, I am using this super duper little mic. It's called Apogee, I think. Apogee, Apogee. And it's super, like I say, it's super small. Michael is from Wisconsin. Well, I'm glad you're here. We've got Sweden in the house. Good to see you. Paul, good to see you, my friend. I'm glad to see you're here. Massachusetts, Carla. And Pam says, hang on, where's Pam's comment? She says, oh, it keeps moving on me. I hate when that happens. Okay. Pam says, yep, energy is the challenge. Too much going on from Scottsdale. Okay, so I have a little bit, like I said, we're going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to introduce or bring in, I don't know if you call him our guest because y'all kind of know him already. And he is a part of the team here at KG. So, but we're going to come in, I'm going to bring him in a minute. And we're going to share something that we discovered, and it's just too good not to share it with you guys. Okay. It was, it was kind of a revelation for us, and we're going to talk about it and tell you how we did it. So, Carla, good morning, girl. And Kevin, glad you guys are here. Awesome. Oh, Saman, I'm so glad to see you, girl. I hope you're still rocking it out over on Pinterest. Wesley Chapel in the house. So how's the weather down there, Ed? I do miss my Florida weather, that's for sure. Although it is pretty nice here, here in Virginia too lately. Um, okay, so on every one of my marketing that grows your business shows, we do giveaways, guys. So today we're going to do 3 different giveaways. One is this little ring light. You can put it on your phone, and then you have this fabulous light source when you need it, when you're taking those cutesy selfies or whatever. Videos, whatever, you have a nice little light source. So we're going to be giving away one of those. And we're also going to be giving away the webcam cover. We're going to be getting some new prizes here soon. So be on the lookout for that. But today we're doing the webcam cover as well as the ring light, and our special guest, I'm sorry, our special sponsor for today's show is the Go Social Content Club. The Go Social Content Club is a membership, hint, 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 where you pay a monthly fee, but you no longer have to stress over your social media content. It's pre-designed by professional graphic designers, and all you have to do is brand it if you want to, download it, and schedule it. So it's super easy. You have your content created for you each and every month. All you have to do, like I say, is download it and schedule it. So we're going to be giving away 3 1-month memberships to the Go Social Content Club. Now, how do you win? Yeah, you win if you just drop in your aha moments. So just type in #aha in the comment area and let us know if you hear something that you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Or, oh my gosh, I knew that, but I'd kind of forgotten it. Just drop in those aha moments as we go, and we will be picking our winners from those people who give us their ahas. Okay, now I have one more favor for you before we get busy with this. Can y'all like sprinkle this out into the world? Like if you know somebody that's going to get value from this or needs an additional revenue stream, or honestly, there's so many people I think right now in COVID times who've lost revenue and maybe looking for another way to generate revenue, then will you tag them? Let them know, because this is such a great opportunity for where we are in the world right now as entrepreneurs. So if you guys would sprinkle it out, let people know, and don't forget those aha moments so that you can win. We want to give away some stuff. All right. So I'm going to bring in our special guest. So let me give you his little bio here. You guys have probably seen Jeff on quite a few of my lives. He is an international speaker. He's a visual marketing expert. He specializes in Pinterest. Oh, you guys probably know that by now. Visual marketing and video. He's also the head beard. You can see that awesome beard he's got, and that mustache with the handles. I mean, like, right? Is that not amazing? At Manly Pinterest Tips, he's worked with and produced visual content for various companies, including Guy Kawasaki, even myself. So he's actually a part of the team here, and we recently partnered on a couple of things that have been very value-based and a part of what we want to share with you guys today. So give a hand to our special guest. Woo-hoo!
Hey everybody, good to be back. Usually I'm behind the scenes with stuff, and it's always fun to jump in the front here. So kind of fun.
Yeah. And so what do you guys think of this Manly?
I know. I didn't shave this week, and it just kind of sprouted. So pretty amazing.
So yay. Okay, so Robin says, yay, Jeff.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin.
Oh, and Robin says sprinkled. Yes. I can't claim that word, honestly. My sweet friend, Molly Mahoney, coined that phrase, and I just borrow it from her.
She's amazing. Yeah.
So we see some, hey, Jeff's in the house.
Oh, look at that. Hey, Julie. Good to see you here.
Yeah. Rita says, dig in the beard. All right. Yeah, right? And who would think that he would be like a Manly Pinterest tip dude, right?
That's what started it. The whole thing is like I always noticed like Jay Bear, he would wear the funny suits when he would speak. And when I started Manly Pinterest Tips, I said, I'll try it. I'll see if I can grow a beard for a year, and if it doesn't work, I'll just shave it off. Well, that was 5 years ago, so I can't ever shave. So it's working. So yeah.
And in COVID times, Jeff and I have laughed about this many times, because we haven't been to the salon or the barbershop or wherever Jeff would go, but the salon to get our hair done since February.
Yeah, it's few and far between. So yeah. So hey, Paul, good to see you. Paul's awesome. He shows up for every single live, and he was even when I did some shows this last week. He was there. So appreciate it, Paul. Thank you so much.
So I hinted around and of course, today's topic is all about memberships. And Jeff and I recently started a new membership, and we want to tell you the back end story, because I think it matters for everybody right now. And maybe feel free to ask questions as we go. Definitely want you guys to do that. Let me set the groundwork a little bit. I've had a membership of various formats for years now. I guess probably like 7 or 8 years ago, I started my first one, which was, my inner circle was what I called it. And it I
was a part of that. I joined. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And my business builder, it's now rebranded to my Business Builders Academy. And anyway, I've had a lot of membership sites over the years. And I guess maybe let's talk about what a membership site is first, so that you guys understand it and are not intimidated by it, because it's easier than ever. Like when I started, like it was difficult. And now what we're going to share with you guys today, you seriously can do this within a few days, because there's no tech. You just have to make some core decisions. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and voila, you've got a new revenue stream. So a membership site or a membership program, whichever way you want to refer to it, or some people refer to it as a continuity program. It's a monthly fee that someone pays you in exchange for value of some sort. It could be, it could be training. It could be uh, templates or anything that's value based to your person that you give to them every month. It's something you give to them each and every month. It could be recipes. It could be like, I'll give you a quick example. I have a friend that I was in a mastermind with who has a 7-figure business off of a $5 membership. So her $5 membership was recipes, and she had different kinds of recipes, vegan recipes, American recipes, kid recipes, all kinds of recipes. And people would pay for those weekly or monthly recipes from her, $5, 7 figures.
Wow.
So that's the nice thing about it. Now, in some cases, some people do have the whole back end built out where, you log in, you get access to it. But today you don't have to have that. Really, all you have to have is Facebook.
Right.
Y'all have Facebook? Anybody have Facebook out there?
Yeah, we got some people watching from Facebook, it looks like. So.
Right. All right. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if anybody's got Facebook. All right. I tell you, some people.
Right, are you?
I'm not even going to go there anyway.
Yeah.
So I would recommend Facebook. I see that Paul is saying, can you use Google Sites? But I would recommend Facebook because a lot of people are already used to Facebook. They're active on Facebook and they are connecting on Facebook. So if you have Facebook, you can do this. All right. So we've kind of settled what membership sites are because I want to give you guys that vision. So let's say, for example, you want to do training every month for your person. You could deliver that content inside of your Facebook group and people would pay you for it. That it's that simple. So you can do that literally with just a Facebook group.
So okay. Kim, can I ask you a question?
You can.
So why not? I'd love to know and kind of the pluses and the pros and cons for each. So a lot of people, we've talked about it, and I know you've trained about it on how to create a course. And then a membership site is separate than a course. Can you give us the pros, like for making a course and some of the cons, and maybe a membership site pros and some of the cons on those?
Yes. So I think there's a major shift. So Jeff and I was just talking about this. Well, we've been talking about it, frankly, but I think there is a major shift in how people are consuming content and how they're connecting, specifically how they're connecting. Keep that in mind. Keep what I just said, how they are connecting, and ultimately how they are buying, because people have to have a know, like, and trust factor with you before they buy. So going back, though, to the core of the question is, one, I am a big fan of courses. And basically what I have started to do is do a kind of what I call a hybrid course, because I feel like the connection piece that happens inside of a membership, inside of a group is what facilitates the real growth for people in their businesses. So I've been teaching my courses live, having people come to class essentially. But let's just assume that you don't want to go with that model. You want either or. You want to do a membership or you want a course. The pros of a course is kind of like it's more passive. You don't have to, people buy it and they go through it at their own pace, and it's not really hands-on for you once you've created it. And there is value in that. I'm not knocking that. Because it keeps you, it's more of a passive revenue stream for you as long as you send traffic to it and people are constantly buying it. The differences between that or another pro for the membership versus the course is you don't have to have it all created. A membership can be parsed out. You can actually use a membership to create your course.
Right.
So a membership is something where I think it's more doable for you and your person because it's usually lower cost than a course. Like a course could be, $297 or, $2,000. versus, a membership where the fee is normally monthly, but it's lower, and the cost of entry is easier for people. So the value, though, the true value in the membership is the community aspect, and people connecting with you and each other. And that fosters so many amazing things. And of course, if you go back to my hybrid approach, which is teaching your course inside of a Facebook group, live and being with people, I think that really works as well.
Right.
So, Jeff, when we started down this road, we didn't decide to do this, by the way. It was kind of bizarre.
So the way this happened was, so we did, we had, we knew that we were going to do training with in video. So we were going to do a video pins 5-day training, like how to put that together using in video as a tool. And we thought, and you had the great idea of like, well, let's try to get people into that training by doing some pre-training. So we did this, what we call the Pinterest Palooza, where we had all these awesome Pinterest people go, and then we used that to promote to this 5-day training, which then led to my course on how to create video pin ads. And that was great. But when we were doing this in that 5-day training, we were training in the morning, and then in the afternoon we did reviews. And so people would work on their video pins, and then Kim and I would go inside of a free private group. It was free, but it was private, that we had control over, and we would then review them in the afternoons. And then people said, we don't want to stop. They were like, we will pay for this. I mean, we never said we're going to charge for this. We didn't think like, hey, let's do this. But we saw the community was amazing. For one, we got about 1,000 people in that free private group, and people started helping one another inside of there. They were reviewing each other's. They were showing up when we do these reviews and really loving it. And they asked for us to continue. And when your audience asks for something, that's when you go, okay, we hit something here. What can we do to continue that going forward? And so that's when we decided to do the group that we have now, the private paid for monthly group that we have, to continue that. And so the cool thing is, and you hinted on it when you were talking earlier about not just courses, but the cool thing now is community. And we saw that in that private group. People were loving it. They were showing up for our lives. They were doing the homework. They were connecting to each other outside of what our training was. And that is going to continue. I see it more and more. It's like a large mastermind. So I'm a big fan of masterminds. I was in Kim's mastermind when she had that running. And the one thing that masterminds help you do is it lets you connect, and it helps you. Nothing has increased my business or grown me as an entrepreneur more than these masterminds and small groups. And so, in being able to do that, and how important community is becoming more and more. We're stuck at home. People want to. Sorry, I'm rambling, but anyway, like for in Longview, Texas, there aren't a lot of digital marketers that I can go out and have coffee with, even in normal times. Masterminds and groups like this allow me to connect with people who understand what I'm dealing with, losing clients, gaining clients, doing leads, all that stuff. And the having your own private group where that community happens and people ask for it, it's just amazing.
Okay, I'm going to answer a couple of questions, and then I want to break this out for you a little bit around decisions you need to make in order to facilitate something like this, okay? Because it really just takes a few core decisions, and then, figuring out how you're going to present it. But one thing I want to key in on what Jeff's talked about just a moment ago was the fact that we listened. We heard a need. Our community was asking us for something specific, and we're like, if we don't step into that and we don't help them in that moment, they're willing to pay for it. Why would we not do this?
And they're going to go somewhere else. I mean, they want this.
Somewhere else. Right. Exactly. So listening is super important when it comes to making sure that, this is something that's going to matter to your person. Or if you see something in your space that no one is really addressing, then step into it and figure out how you can monetize it. I'll give you a quick example. I saw my friend Shalene Johnson recently just did this, like this past week. her and her son, Brock, they put together a monthly membership, which is, I think I forgot exactly how much she was charging for it, 37 or something, I think. And they're going to be doing some training around Instagram. So they saw a need. Their community was asking for more. And so they committed, they stepped up and said, okay, we're going to do training with you guys each and every month. This is what it's going to cost you. And people like, boom. So you guys can do that too. But one of the things that was asked is, which we're going to cover, like how to price a membership. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But I saw another question that was about how, can you put your content inside of a Facebook group? So I want to identify that real quick. Here it is. I think it was Lynn asked, can deliver content live in Facebook encourage interaction and grow community? Absolutely. In fact, that was one of the things I would encourage you to do, is to leverage your content or delivery of your content and housing of your content inside of the Facebook group, because that will keep you from having to have your content somewhere else. That way you have no tech. If you can use Facebook, you can do this. And you can't just charge for a Facebook group, but as long as you're delivering content, you're charging for the content. The Facebook group is just a mechanism for holding the community, essentially. So,
and I just want to say one thing. So if you're doing live and you're creating content and all that stuff, if you're going live, especially, make sure you download that, because yes, Facebook is free. It's a great place, but also you are building your house on rented land. And it's always good to have a backup in case, let's say all of a sudden Facebook says, hey, we're going to take 50% of all your group sales, or they're not going to be free anymore, or they all have to be public, or some wackadoo thing that Facebook could do. You want to have that and have it as a backup. So we download all of our trainings. We don't just leave them up on Facebook servers. We have access to all that stuff. So that's the one thing I just wanted to make sure that people just don't throw everything into Facebook and think it's going to be safe.
So let's break it down. Okay. We'll basically go through some of the steps that we went through to decide, one, what it was going to look like, what kind of content we were going to deliver, what were we promising that we were going to do for the amount of money we wanted to charge for it. Okay. So we're going to break that down real quick, and then we'll talk about pricing and delivery. Okay. So meaning, how are we owning what we said we were going to do? How are we delivering that content? So when we first decided, basically listening, we're like, oh my gosh, people need more. They want more. How do we step into that? Well, one, we didn't want to create a massive course. We didn't want to stop what we were doing in the rest of our business and say, okay, well, let's just put everything on the back burner and let's dive in and let's build a full-blown course. One, because we didn't have the bandwidth to do that right then. And two, we knew that the connection was where it was at. We knew that if we created a course, would people go through it? How many of you guys have bought a course and thought in the moment that you were going to go through it? Now, I'm not knocking courses. Courses are amazing. And I highly recommend finding, if you want to know something, find somebody who's doing it well and learn from them. But the problem comes into play when you don't do it. Right? You just don't do it. So we're like, okay, how can we not have that happen? And memberships are a great way for that not to happen, because you're basically baby stepping people through a process, So for us, it was Pinterest. So I don't know if we've shared this with you guys, but what we decided to start and launch from a membership perspective was Pins Made Simple. So it's very focused. So that's the first decision you have to make. You have to decide, what are you going to teach or deliver? Like, what is going to be the transformation you're seeking for your person? Let's say it's training. Training is one thing. So niching it down to something specific, I would highly recommend. If you're a service provider and you teach people how to organize their business, right? Then, that's something very specific. If you are a social media manager, for example, you might want to pare that down to maybe one platform. That's what we did. We ended up going with Pinterest because there's not a lot of people teaching Pinterest, interestingly enough, and certainly not in an organized, systemized way. So So that was our first decision. And I would recommend that you do that first. Make the decision on what makes sense. If you're listening to your community and they're telling you what you need or they need, then listen.
Right. And to be in that listening thing, Kim, we actually, even in our training that we were getting before we did the group, since I had done, I do like Tailwind show, and one of the most popular things is when we did reviews, we knew that we had to have reviews as part of our training process when we were doing we were training on how to create video pins in that 5-day challenge. And so we listened for that. And that was something we integrated in our training. And then that led to, hey, you want to continue that moving forward. So and a lot of people are saying the same thing, but that listening is such a key of we didn't try to ram a paid group down people's throats. That wasn't our goal. Our goal at the very beginning was providing great content, getting people excited around the training. And then that led organically to that.
And if, for example, you're not quite sure if what you've thought that you want to do or put together or pre-sell it, put it out there and see if anybody buys it. That's honestly the beautiful part about memberships is you don't have to have anything ready except making your core decisions. So what we did was we made the core decision. This is what our people are telling us they want. Then the next thing we had to decide is, okay, are we going to do it? And yes, we decided we were. What are we going to niche it to? Okay, got that. And then the next thing was, what kind of content are we going to deliver for the people? What is going to make the best use of their and our time and move them forward in their business? So we made some core decisions on what the content was going to look like. So I'll share what we did, and maybe this will matter to you. So based on my own experience, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys before, but I have a master's degree in distance education, and I use it to organize and I've never worked in a traditional setting before. Like I just use it in my own business. I use that knowledge, right? And I use it to teach other people how to do the same thing. But the interesting part about it is we usually try to train on something, and then we give space for people to do it. So I recommend that you do the same. I call her get her done days or get her done weeks or whatever, so we train and then we allow time and space for that knowledge to be, because there's life, right? There's still life. Like people are busy, they're doing things they have to have the bandwidth to be able to do the stuff. So we train, we give them space to do the thing. And then on the third week, we come back in and we review what they've done. So we give them our feedback on what they've done. And then in the fourth week, we bring in a special guest, somebody who's got, additional knowledge that they can share, bring a different perspective to the table. And so we've laid out the 4 weeks. Something happens every week. First week's training. Second week is the get her done. Third week is review. Fourth week is special guest. So, but again, that was just our structure. It doesn't have to be yours, but I wanted to share it with you guys so that it might be your structure. Feel free to use it if it makes sense for you. So we decided what we were going to do, and then we pre-sold it. We told our community, this is what we're thinking. And, and that's the next piece of this was, okay, what are we going to charge for this? Right. Jeff and I went back and forth. We're like,
right.
Okay, well,
we looked at the competition. Yeah.
So we just ask. We're just like, okay, this is kind of what we're thinking. Would you be interested in this if it was less than $50? Or, so we literally just started, we just asked the community, the people that had already showcased an interest, what they would pay for it. Now, you can do that a couple of different ways. If you already have a community, you can ask. If you don't, you can ask in places where your people are. So do you have any recommendations on where people could do that, Jeff?
Well, I think the key thing, and we touched on it a little bit before, is the reason that we had a group to ask is because we provided content. We provided content and value for free for that 5-day challenge. I mean, that's where we built up that huge, initial 1,000 people. That's a good chunk of people that we could, ask questions about. And then there was core people in that we saw that, that interacted every day. So that's, I think, pulling people in with content, and you can't just say, hey, yeah, here's something, pay me money. You have to prove, and you mentioned the know, like, and trust factor. That has to be something that you provide. I mean, you have to bite the bullet and not get paid for something and provide content so people know that you know what you're talking about and that you can continue on with the training. And I think that was the biggest thing for us. We did a 5-day challenge where we just didn't train, and like, here you go. Here's a training number 1. Then we reviewed, and we could have probably could have done like 5 minutes of training and then did all review. I mean, that's how important that interactive part was, is looking at people and saying the comments, and we did it in a way like, okay, that's a great start, but this is what I would do to change it and make it better. So and I think it's because we like to teach, and we really wanted to teach and make people better. And people can sniff out, if you're just there to grab a monthly fee, and your churn rate will be crazy. And that's when people come and leave, and when they know you're not providing value, and that's what you don't want. So I'm sorry, I don't know if I answered the question or not, but I honed in on what you said about providing good content for people. And I think that's where you have to start there. You have to have good content that does the job, and then you interact with people. And we are constantly, we're doing training, is looking at those comments, bringing them on screen, talking with people. It's not one-sided, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, and I think that goes back to the community aspect. That's
Right.
why it's so important. And I think that's why the Facebook group gives us that median to connect and build community, not like just to be there. When you actually spend time with people, versus just showing up occasionally or just posting stuff in a group, when you actually spend time and connect and give value and feedback, that matters on a different level. And I think that a lot of people are really gravitating to those opportunities versus traditional courses where they don't have that connection and that opportunity to ask questions. Because, let's face it, we all have different businesses.
Right.
And no one business is exactly the same. Your question and your situation, it could be totally different from Susie's or Tom's or mine, so having the opportunity to ask a question that's specific to you and your business and your situation, is not something you can get in I bought the course, and you don't have that touch point, so that might not always matter to you, but today, right now, the opportunity for connection is so big and so vast and so needed. I think that the membership opportunity is big. So Jeff, what do you think? Is a membership opportunity, is it a good opportunity for most any business?
I think so, and here's why. Because and Kim and I always have to kind of remind each other that because we've been doing it for so long that it's a bigger deal than we kind of downplay it. But the ability that we have right now, where I can see Monica Harris, and I can pull her up on screen and go, I'm in. So that thing, we've never been able to have this kind of interaction globally before. We're live right now interacting with people who are watching us. And before, courses, that was before we had live video and the ease of bringing in guests and all the stuff all these tools we have now. I am constantly forgetting that this is a big deal. This is a big deal that we are able to have these groups, and I can train live, and I don't have to go back and answer comments, manually. I can do it live on screen with people. That's huge. And I think, and especially a lot of you guys who are watching this and maybe watch a lot of live video online and maybe not doing it yourself, we've never had this opportunity before. It seems like everybody's doing live video if you're on Facebook, but you think about, if I think of like my local flower shop, I don't know of any local flower shop that's doing a live video on how to arrange stuff and do things here in my community. That's wide open. I bet I'm almost 100% of your competitors aren't doing this to connect with their people. And being able to train now in a group, you could have a local flower shop, or a wedding, how to help wedding planners in your area, a paid group that you help them do arrangements. You don't have to go there. You could do it live on camera inside of a Facebook group. So the live video, I think, has just exploded opportunities for companies to be able to do this. I mean, it's just, you got to think about it. We've never had this opportunity. We have a television studio right now on our laptop that we could go live and talk to people directly. When has this ever happened before? Never. So, I mean, it's just amazing.
And Paul was asking, is the Facebook group set up differently? Basically, it's the same type of Facebook group as you would set up under any other circumstance. The only thing I would suggest is that you do use the social learning feature inside of the Facebook group, because that allows you to have units. And the units are how you would organize your content. So, month 1, month 2, however, based on what you're delivering.
Mm-hmm.
If you're delivering training inside of the Facebook group, then you can organize it inside of units, and people, no matter when they come into your membership, they can access that content. Now, that goes back to another question that I've had people ask me before, which is, if someone comes in 2 months from now, do they get all the content, that's the previous content too, or do they just get that month's content? And that is a total personal decision on your part. I've seen people do it both ways. My Business Builders Academy is a vault of content. And it doesn't matter when someone comes in, they still get the monthly training, but they also get everything that's happened previously. So it's a thud factor. That's what I call it. It's like they log in and they're like, oh my gosh, I got all this for $97, and then they stay for the recurring content. But you can also have it set up to where they just get that month's content. So it's a total personal decision on your part, depending on how you want it to be.
So I want to talk about another thing about community, because I don't know if you tell, but Kim and I are passionate about live video and community and the ability to use that. But for example, and I just want to pull up Pat Mills, and she goes, I'm here. I'm waiting on my first grandchild to be born any minute, but I made it. So Pat is what you would call, she is, I mean, amazing that she showed up anywhere. Oh, so, but I know I see Pat now. I'm all the time. I see her and stuff. And, Pat Flynn calls them super fans, but I'm a super fan of Pat here, Pat Mills, because she shows up.
To have her first grandbaby.
Yes. And she's watching it with us. I mean, how amazing is that? But the connections that you make, you see people. We know Paul shows up almost every time, and I can do a shout out with him because of that. And so those are the relationships that grow your business. Even if Pat wasn't a part of our Pins Made Simple group, and she was just a fan and she showed up every time, she's going to tell other people about it that may buy my product. So those connections you make, and I don't mean it to be like get super fans and that's how you make money. You make relationships just like anything else, and that organically grows your business and your group. And people, if you're doing a good job, they're going to tell other people and say, you need to see what Jeff and Kim are doing over there. I mean, it's kind of fun. We learn a lot. I made this pin because I watched this. And so that's what you want, that word of mouth online. And so once again, the community is huge. And thanks, Pat, for showing up during your,
and even Facebook will call them your super fans or whatever. Right. They have something like that. They have some sort of a word for it, but really it's, as Jeff says, it's a two-way street where, I'll speak for myself, and I think Jeff feels the same way. It's a wonderful opportunity to get to know people and to play in their businesses and help them in their businesses. So it's why I get up every morning. Mm-hmm. And being able to see you see us and connect with us, it goes both ways, I guess, is exactly what Jeff was saying. Right. So,
and this is Anella. She's another one who was in the, she goes, if we can help one person, we made a difference. That's awesome. Yes, exactly. That's right.
Exactly. Top fan. That's it, Megan. Thank you. So Facebook calls them top fans. And it is all about relationships. Okay. So after we made the how much it was going to cost decision, because we listened to the feedback, we put together a little sales page, nothing fancy. In fact, if you go, we've pretty much got to where we are just templatizing all of our sales pages.
Because they work.
Yeah, because they work.
Right.
Just put it together quick as a money, and we put it in front of our community, and some of them said yes, they wanted it. And now the next piece was getting them into the Facebook group. welcoming them, letting them know we see them and we appreciate them and their commitment to their businesses, and then letting them know our commitment is to their business is just as strong. And we had our first week last week. We did the first training. This week is a get her done week. Next week we'll do the reviews, which is our favorite part, is spending time and actually giving our personal feedback on stuff. But yeah, and it's all done live. I'll say that again, live inside of a Facebook group. Mm-hmm. So we just use this tool that we're on right now, StreamYard. We schedule the trainings so that everybody knows when that is happening inside of the Facebook group. They know, they come, they consume the content, or if they can't make it for some reason,
right?
Guess what? The replay is there, right there inside of the Facebook group. All they have to do is come back when time allows for them, come back and tune into the content. It's all organized for them inside of the unit section, so they don't have to hunt and peck for it. And they don't have to go somewhere else to figure out where to find it. Like, I don't have to send them a bunch of emails and say, oh, you missed, and here's the replay. Like, no, it's all contained inside of the Facebook group. And it makes it easy for us as administrators of the membership. And it makes it really easy for the members themselves to consume the content, connect with one another, feel like they're all a part of the same journey, because they are, and have access to the content at the same time.
Yeah, and I also wanted to point out, we have those are scheduled. So we say, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this on these different weeks. So we have that. They know that's going to be part of it. But also, I like to go in there, and I know Kim does too. And as we find stuff, because these people said they're interested in Pinterest. So like, if I find news that hey, Pinterest did something new, I drop that in there, and then they can see that. They're the first to know before I share it out anywhere else. And so they get that first access. But it's also I know you guys are interested in this. This is something that you get as well. So I'm always looking for stuff that I can now share with my group, because I want them to succeed. I want them to be on the cutting edge. If Pinterest drops something new or made a change in some way, that they get it first so they can, implement it. And that's part of the value that you give as a group. So you don't want to just say, I'm just going to do my schedule thing, the bare minimum to get by. You want to be always thinking about, how can I enrich my group? What can I drop in there? For example, I do a show for Social Media Examiner that I do every Friday. Well, the last Friday, it happened to be with there's some new Pinterest news, and it was Jennifer Priest, who we had on before, and she's amazing at Pinterest. So I dropped that into the group, just the link, and they could watch the video if they wanted, but it was giving them access and giving them knowledge. This is maybe something important that you guys want to check out. So always also be thinking about, okay, what else can I do to provide value over and above, I guess.
Which keys in exactly on the question that Shalina, I hope I said that correctly, is asking, do you give worksheets or other resources? Yes. When it facilitates the transformation, yes. So if I take a look at the training and I'm like, they need something else, like they need a worksheet or they need a checklist to go with this, then yes, we will have that as a part of that particular lesson. And I've started looking at it from that perspective too. This is a lesson, and this is a mini transformation as a part of the overall picture of where they want to go. So maybe that'll help if you can key in on what I just said there, which is it'll help you maybe not try to deliver the kitchen sink and the refrigerator and everything else the first time around. Break it down so that you have consistent content. Mm-hmm. And like I said, you can repurpose that content and make it into a course long term. So I saw another question. Okay, so I really want to encourage, I see a few people, and I don't want to hang them out necessarily, but I want to encourage you. I see Lynn says it's time to get over myself and do lives. And I saw another one.
Anella did the same.
Yes, I saw, I'm not laying hands on her. Oh, here. I think I need to get over the introvert shyness factor. Girl, so y'all, you may not believe this, but I'm an introvert. And people are like, what? You're not an introvert. Yes, I am.
I am too.
So it's a kind of a fascinating thing. And I did have to get over myself. It isn't about us. If you truly want to make a difference for other people, then you have got to set aside your own head game and put yourself out there, because you do have something, you do have an opportunity to help other people. And if you don't, well, you're just doing yourself and, more importantly, them a grave disservice. So, we do have to get over ourselves.
And in that same lane, Kim, is another thing that I struggle with, and even my pal Ian Anderson Gray, and he talks a lot about it too. And he's a live video expert, is the imposter syndrome. So when you go to start your own membership group, there's probably other membership groups that do the same thing. Like there's other and some really great ones that I know. There's a few Pinterest paid groups that I know of, and it's easily to psych yourself out and just say, well, there's another one. What am I going to do different?
Oh my
There's,
God,
yeah. And the thing is,
even
there is nobody like you. Just remember, you're unique, just like everybody else. So, the thing, you have your own spin on everything, even if there is another one. If you do any sort of search, I guarantee you're almost going to find another group in the same lane, and you cannot let that stop you. I didn't do a group for a long time because of that reason, because of had that imposter syndrome creep up. So don't let that affect you. Go out and do your own group, even if you don't want to copy, you don't want to name it the same thing or something like that. But it's okay to do something on the same subject that you've seen somebody else have success with. That is totally okay.
And I'm going to talk about that real quick, because I was just listening into a webinar this weekend around this very thing, and there's always the concern about, like, okay, what if I just try this and see if it's going to work? Well, let me suggest this to you. Instead of just trying to pick something out of your hat and throw it at the wall, pay attention to what others are doing that are doing it successfully and model it. Don't copy it, model it. Why in the world do we think everything has to be totally unique? It doesn't. You are the unique piece, but the strategies and the structure of something that's already successful, why mess with it? If somebody is creating, $100,000 a month in their business doing, these three things, do those three things. Just do them with your flair, instead of always trying to come up with a unique strategy. I put together my list of 21 predictions yesterday, and that was one of my things. I was like, we've got to stop it with these shiny object things and just stick with traditional marketing, tried and true stuff. Instead of, we're wasting a lot of time trying to figure out what to do when it's already laid out for us. We just have to model it.
Right. And if you have that question of what should I do? And one of the things we've talked about is asking your community, because the community told us, but sometimes, they're not always going to tell you, but if you ask them, they probably will, saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys think? And then, like Kim and I, how much would you pay? Is it worth X amount of money? And you will quickly find out. And so there's a lot of different ways to do it, but don't let, like we talked about, the fear factor or imposter syndrome, or that somebody else is doing it, stop you. Go out there, ask your community, and see if it's a viable option.
So I just want to share one quick takeaway that I've personally had from today's training. Like I said before, we are doing this slightly different than normal, where it's some Q&A, but usually it's just an open conversation and with our guest. We wanted to share a success and how we broke it down and how we ended up doing it. But one of the things I have picked up is I'm watching your all's comments come in, and I would love to hear from you around what I'm getting ready to say. Okay. But I'm seeing a lot of engagement, a lot of questions, a lot of ahas. And I'm curious if you would be more inclined towards content like this, where we just break down something that somebody's doing in their business that's working, versus being a little bit more general, which is what we've been doing. So this has kind of been an aha, like I say, an aha moment. I'm seeing so many amazing questions, so many amazing comments. that are slightly different than, my normal show. So I'm just curious as to whether you guys have enjoyed this style of training, because it's almost been a training, versus an interview. Okay. So just let me know in the comments. I'm curious.
Yeah, Pat has a great point here. She says, yes, I believe this for years about community and training. We need others to help build each other. And I think one, with the technology that we're having, like I went off a while back about live video, how important it is, but also loneliness is an epidemic right now. It was really cool. I edit Guy Kawasaki's podcast, and he had the former Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, who is actually Joe Biden he is pulling him into his COVID stuff. But he wrote a book on loneliness, and it's an epidemic right now. And you don't want to be slimy in building community, but people are actively looking for real community. And if you can provide that around your business or your niche or your offer and do it in a sincere and real way, then there's no reason why it won't succeed. I mean, because this is going to be a growing need in our society, is that people need this. And before, we'd have to wait for newspapers to come, or you just have to get on a phone call. But now we have all these groups that can be specifically niched down, and you can communicate directly with them. We could actually open this up in Facebook rooms, and you guys could come in and we could talk like face to face or do a Zoom call. Never before have these tools been available. It's just we've got to get over the way we look and how we talk and the imposter syndrome, and do that and build the community that people are asking for, because it's out there. They want it. And you just need to be able to just be brave enough to embrace it and move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, let's pick our winners real quick. And guys, if you want to, I'm all about reverse engineering. So if you want to reverse engineer anything we've talked about, feel free to do so. Go check out, this is the website that we put together for this membership. It's Pins Made Simple. Check it out. You'll see the things that are in the box, if you will, what we decided to charge for, what we included with our fee. Like I say, it's all about taking something that's working and modeling it, or making it like just pieces of it. Even some pieces may fit your business and your people, and others might not. So definitely check it out. Feel free to, like I say, reverse engineer anything that we've talked about. See if it makes sense in your business. All right.
There's the first one.
All right. Ring light winner. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
On it at the same time. Pam, you are the ring light winner, girl. And we have, I just want to make sure anybody that's a winner, if you will go to kimgross.com/winner, drop in your information and we'll get your prize out in the mail ASAP. The webcam winner is Christina Davis. So Christina, you are the webcam winner. And then we have 3 1-month trials of the Go Social Content Club. I think you guys are going to love that. And we'll pull those out here in just a moment. Rhonda's working her little fingers to the bone. Love her heart.
I know. she's awesome. She is another one inside the group who helps organize everything. She is amazing that she puts all that stuff together. So, okay, here we go. Yeah, got it.
So we have Anila, Lynn, and Saman. Woohoo! I love that. So I recognize 2 of those names in particular. And if you guys will just go to kimgross.com/winner, all we need for you guys is an email address. And we will get you set up and you will be good to go. Okay, so before we bump off of here and let you guys get about your business today, I have a quick question for you. What do you think about this whole membership thing? Is it something that you think you would like to do in your business? Create an additional revenue stream, maybe do something that's a little bit easier on the front side, and maybe like repurpose it and turn it into a course. What you think?
Yeah. And see, this is the cool thing about having a community. You can ask these questions and you can no, that's not a good idea, or you could get like, yes, that would be something. So, yeah. So Anella is talking about, I've been talking about, I think about memberships for a while, and yeah, a lot of people, Sybil.
Yes. Christina says yes. Pam says membership seems so much easier than building the course first. There is some value to it. Honestly, I mean, it depends on, what you're looking for. And again, like I said, the course concept, you could still do the course, but I would, like I say, recommend potentially, it might not be for everybody, but it's been working for me where I deliver the course live. So that might be something to think about.
And it gives you pressure because you've told people you're going to do it. And so you have to put up content every week, or, you instead of you like, okay, I've got to get this course done by Friday. And it's just you. If you're presenting every week and you're building your course, you're building your course from your membership, then you have to make content, or you've got all these people that'll be upset with you. So there's a little more self-pressure on it to get it done. So that's always helpful.
When we were, let me tell you another quick story. Okay. So, and no disrespect to Jeff, because we've all done this. I've done it. I know that anybody who's ever created a course has done this. It's easy to kind of push it forward. Like if you're not under a deadline, it's easy to do. So when we decided to do this Pinterest challenge, and I said, Jeff, we need to just really niche down. Let's just do a course on video ads, or video pins. And so he created a course for video pins. It's amazing, by the way. But if we hadn't had a deadline, we would have tried a little bit further.
The team was freaking out, like, is he going to get it done? And I was up really late getting it done. So, yeah.
So, when you've committed to doing something and you have, a deadline, or you are set to go live in a group on a certain day, you got to get her done. There's no putting it off. And so that does, it holds you accountable in a natural way.
Yes, it does. It does.
All right, guys. All right. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this content today. I've sure enjoyed spending time with you. And Jeff, appreciate you coming and sharing the story, and helping me flesh it out, and let everybody know how we did it and what we did, and hopefully they can emulate.
Yes.
Take it into their businesses. All right, y'all. Well, take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and God bless. We will see you Thursday. All right. Thursday, 1 p.m. I'll do the Tools Thursday. I'm not sure what tool we're going to do yet, but it'll be fun. Join me on Thursday. Take care. God bless.
Bye, everybody.